Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. If you are here joining me live on Memorial Day Monday, please let me know. There. Now it says I am live, and it says I'm going to do something with watercolor pencils today, so I guess I better do that. So while I'm waiting for anybody to pop on before I get started, I hope you're having a great day. It is Memorial Day here in the United States. Hi, Holly, welcome. And so it's a somber day, but here it's also our unofficial start for summer, and we are definitely having summer today. It's about 91 degrees outside. At least it was supposed to get that. I didn't see if it actually was. So I decided last week I would go ahead and do this on Monday. But it will be kind of a short one today. So if you've not had your picnic or cookout yet, there's still plenty of time in the day. And I've already been to a cookout or picnic today, and I came home kind of stuffed, and I really didn't think I ate that much, but I am full. So when this is, push that out of the way, excuse me. So when this is over, I'm just going to kind of kick up maybe with an afternoon cup of coffee. So let me go ahead and get started. I don't know if you have watercolor pencils or have used them. I've had watercolor pencils like this for a long time, and I'll be honest, I rarely use them. Once we got the blends and our alcohol markers, that's what I pretty much was using for coloring in a stamp. But I was watching something the other day with watercolor pencils, and I didn't have much success using the process that this gal was using. Excuse me. So I've been playing around with it a little bit, and I thought that that's what I would show today. So let me get down to full strength of my desktop and show you what I have planned. First of all, let me show you where the watercolor pencils are in the new annual catalog. They're on page 126. And if you're looking for affordable, very affordable ways to color, whether it's on your stamps, which is what I'm going to do today, or stamping and coloring in on your line art stamps, this is a great way to get a lot of color for very little. We have assortment number 1, and you get 13 pencils in basic black, basic gray, Bermuda Bay, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Melon Mambo, Old Olive, Pacific Point, Pumpkin Pie, Real Red, Rich Razzleberry, and there's a white one in there. So those are many of our core colors, and that's $16. And then assortment 2 came out a couple years later, or maybe a year later, and there are 10 there for $12.50, and that's where we picked up Balmy Blue, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Coastal Cabana, Crushed Curry, Floridy Flamingo, Garden Green, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, and Night of Navy. So really with all of those colors, 23 of them, you get a really good selection of our core colors. Now, how can you color with watercolor pencils? You can use our water painters. We had water brushes, and then these came out, I believe, maybe 2 years ago. And we have these in a set of 3. And we've got a medium, fine, and a wide brush for a watercolor wash. So that's one way to color with your watercolor pencils. And you just fill those up with water and you're good to go. And then we always have, we've had these for a long time, blender pens. It's a double-ended with a liquid that's in here. And I don't know if you can see that on my hand. It gives a little bit of liquid. You can color with that too. But I'm going to show you the way that I learned this week. And it's just kind of a trial and error. You can figure out what you like to do and then just go with it. Now, I'm going to show you this card that I made. And this was just playing around. I really had no idea. Whoops. Let's get this up into the camera. Exactly how it was going to turn out. And I like the way it turned out. I think I used Melon Mambo and maybe Calypso Coral here. And Old Olive, I believe. And on this, I used our regular basic white paper. And if you use that too much, the basic white will start to pill up. And of course, you could always use watercolor paper, but it also has a bit of more of a texture to it. So I thought I would try today our shimmery white paper. And it's a very good paper for watercoloring. And it just really works well. So let me show you what I want to do today. Let's see if I can get this down here. Okay. And I'm going to use a couple of stamp sets that I've been using quite a bit since they came out. And that's the Happiness Abounds. Now, this is a line art. So if I stamped with this, I would color in those lines. But I'm going to use this primarily today for the sentiment that is in here. I'll figure out a sentiment to use. But this is a bold image where you don't color it in. You just stamp it on your ink pad and you're done. So these are really very easy. You don't have to think much about that. But and these are photopolymer, and Happiness Abounds is also photopolymer. But this does work on our regular cling stamps as well. So I'm going to start with this long stem here. And let me show you what I'm going to do. First of all, I've got a mat here. This is our pad from the Stamparatus. And it's got a cushion on it. And I'm going to use this because photopolymer needs a cushion under it. So this can be double duty. I can get my water on here and also stamp on it and get a good image. So let's get some water here. And I'm just going to use one of these water painters to squeeze some water out on here. Ooh, that's got some color to it already. Well, it's kind of pinkish. Let's see if I get something a little bit clearer. Obviously, I didn't clean off that brush as much as I could have the last time I used it. So let's wipe that off and see if I get a little bit better here. Okay, I think it will be okay. So there I'm adding some water, a little bit more. And let's grab Watercolor Pencils set 1. And I'm going to start with the green. So let's go with the Old Olive again. Yes, that's Old Olive, so they are marked very well. And they come with a nice point on them, and they will need to be sharpened. And what I like to do, let's empty this out, it's kind of full, is use a regular old basic school pencil sharpener. I think if you try to use an electric one, it's going to really chew up your pencil and it's not going to last quite as long. But this gives you control over how much you actually want to sharpen your pencil. So there I get a pretty good, whoops, let's go on the small one here again. Pretty good point back on your pencil. So what I'm going to do is to put my pencil in that water to get some color there. So that's going to become my paint. And color right on my stamp. So I'm getting some water on the pencil and then coloring on the stamp. And of course you don't get the same kind of image that you would get if you were stamping this right into an ink pad. But it gives that watercolor look. And to tell you the truth, I have never really thought that I do very good with watercoloring, so I tend to stay away from it. Now, the gal who was doing this when I was watching, she was spritzing water right on her stamp, and I think she was using a photopolymer, and I didn't get good results with that technique. So that's when I started playing around, thinking I can start with the water and add it that way. And if it's a large stamp and it might start to dry out a little bit, just going to add some more here. You could breathe on it just like you do if a stamp gets a little dry. So I'm going to stamp on that, and I have a piece of the shimmery white, and I'm just going to stamp on that. And look how pretty that is, and it looks like you've actually watercolored it. I might be able to get a second one out of that, a little bit lighter. And there's that. Okay, so let's do a couple more. So I just found it kind of therapeutic to get the effect that I wanted with that color. And then I can control the color that's on here. What I didn't find was if I spritzed the water on there first, I couldn't control it as well. So let's do another one. And I can change the height of this and get another one. And I think I can get two more there. Then I will add a stem that I'll be able to put the flowers on. There we go. And move that one down a little bit. There's another one. And let's put one over here in the corner where there's some white space. Okay, so now that looks like it needs something to fill it in, so I can put the flowers on there. So let's wipe this off. I think I got some ink on there. And go with this next stem. Now this will have the flowers on it, but I'm going to fill in a little bit more with this other more leafy stamp. Okay, let's fill this one in. Just kind of fill it in like a field of flowers. Okay, a little bit more down there at the end, and then we'll do the flowers. All right, So now we have our stems here already that I did initially. So we've got 1, 2, 3, I guess we got 4 big stems. Maybe there's 1, 2 for the flower. So we need to get rid of the green. And squeeze some more water out here. And now let's see. Maybe you'll see what is in this other assortment. Let's try the Flirty Flamingo. Here it is. Okay, to tell you that I haven't used these much, some of these probably have their original points on them. So I will have to start using them more because I really like this technique. So let's use Melon Mambo. Let's see. This is Flirty Flamingo. Let's use Melon Mambo. And okay, I'll need some Daffodil Delight to put our centers in the flowers. Maybe get a purple in here with some Gorgeous Grape. There we go. All right. And I've chosen this little flower here. So I'll need to probably change this, add some more water to this because this is really purpley. And you're going to want to stick around to the end. I have an envelope to show you that's made from a 6x12 piece of designer paper that I did show on one of my videos about a year ago. Maybe it was a little bit less than that. Okay, so this is a little bit darker than my original one that I showed at the beginning. So let's see how that's going to work. And this is easy with the photopolymer because I can see exactly, ooh, I like that. I can see exactly where I'm going to stamp that. Ooh, I like that a lot. Let's do another purple before I cover up that water or take that water away. And let's see, I think this was one here. And that one didn't fill in very good, but I think I can easily go over this because watercoloring is pretty forgiving. At least I'm hoping it is. That's my story. I'm going to stick to it. Oh yeah, that looks good. All right, so let's grab my, where's my scrubbing pad go? There it went. Scrub that color off. And let's add some more water. And let's go with some orange. I like purple and orange together anyway. So this is Calypso Coral, one of my favorite colors. I gravitate towards Calypso Coral for so many different things. Because it's not a bright orange, but it's just orangey enough. So let's add that. And by laying down a little bit more color on there, now this looks really watery, so but that's what we're doing. We're watercoloring. Okay, where is our next stem? Right here. And again, I'm using a cushion under this because photopolymer does not have any cushion, and so that fills in with it. I'm going to add a little bit more to that too. I didn't realize how easy it was to go back over the image if you're not really pleased with it in the first place. And again, especially because it's photopolymer, I can see what I'm doing. All right, it looks good. And let's see, here's one. Kind of obscured them a little bit, so some of the flowers might overlap a little bit. So let's do a flirty flamingo. That's also a little bit in the orange category. And here's another thought. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Let's see. Where's that Melon Mambo? About blending the two colors together. How about that? Okay, so there's Flirty Flamingo, and here is Melon Mambo. So let's put the two together. Ooh, I'm doing something different that I had not planned on. Put those together. So I don't know what color you would call that, but that works for me. Okay, so where should we put that one? Let's put that down here by this purple one. And okay, it looks good. It'll dry. And maybe one more that is a little bit more, let's see. Let's do a yellow. Let's just do a Daffodil Delight. So we need some more water. Okay, better clean my flower off or it's going to be pink again. Okay, and let's put that one here. Okay, that was a little too watery. That one doesn't look very good. Let's see if I can make that look a little bit better, because otherwise that's going to ruin the whole thing. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning, but I'm kind of stamping on the fly today since I just got home about a half an hour before this. Let's wipe some of that. Okay, I've got a towel over here, so I'm just going to dab some of that water off and see if I can kind of bring that flower back to life a little bit. There, that looks a little bit better, and it does give it some more definition. So, okay, I think there is a tiny flower here. It needs something there in the middle that I have not used. So let's do another little flower and make this one purple. So let's go back to the the gorgeous grape. So I've got a nice little color palette on here, so I could do several more of these. And there's just enough room in there to use that little smaller flower. There, that looks good. And I think there's another stem here that there's a little bit of a void there. Let's see, let's do another yellow one there. There are so many techniques you can use with watercoloring. With a wash, it's so much fun, and I just know that I'm going to be using them a lot more. Okay, let's put this one right here. There's our little bouquet of flowers. And for now, I'm just going to leave out doing anything in the center. As far as the watercoloring, let's see. I'm just going to leave those out right now until this dries. Okay, so we need a sentiment. So I better get all this water out of the way before it ruins everything. And do a sending many thanks for all you do. And for this, I'll use Memento. And this is from the beautiful Happiness Abounds stamp set. Oh my goodness. If you've seen any of the other videos earlier than this, I've used that a lot. And the paper from it is just stunning. Okay, so let's put that there. Okay, it's not exactly super straight, but it's paper. All right, so there we go. And I'm going to put this on a piece of Petal Pink. And let's wrap some baker's twine around it. Now the shimmery white is white, but it does have a yellowish cast to it. So it's not as stark white as our basic white is. So I'm going to just put this on the back with a Stampin' Dimensional. Then I can tie a little knot in the front. Okay, so I'm down to the end of my Stampin' Dimensionals, and that's when I use every last little bit of these strips, which are perfect for going along the edges or getting smaller strips onto your card. So that's one thing I never, ever, ever waste are the Stampin' Dimensionals, because they're good for so many things. Hi, Elaine. Welcome. Hope you're having a good day. I'll turn this over in a minute and you can see what I've been doing. Doing watercolor pencils today. I don't use those very often, but I'm changing my ways. Okay, a little bit more down here, and probably putting more dimensionals on here than I would if I was just doing the regular card. And I'll put that one last one in the center. Okay. Okay, here's the card. I'll finish by tying a bow in the front, or a little knot. Yes, it's a beautiful day here too. I was at a picnic earlier and I came home a little stuffed. Okay, so now we get to take all this stuff off of here. And as I said, this is going on Petal Pink. And add one more little bit to this. And then I will show you this, what I think is a great way to use up designer series paper and make an envelope. And if it's too busy to use, you just put a little tag on the front of it and the post office should take it just fine. Okay, let's line that up there, take some of that away. And one more thing, this needs some brushed brass butterflies. I love those, and I'm so glad that they carried over, and we'll have them for the next year. So I need a butterfly or two hovering around our flowers. And put one over there. And maybe one little one up here. All right, so there is the finished card. And that is just using watercolor pencils, dipped in water, and then coloring on the stamp. All right, let me show you this easy peasy way to do a standard size envelope. And I do have a piece of paper already cut. So let's get these pencils and water and all this stuff out of the way. And you do need a paper trimmer. I've already cut this to 6 by 12. And if your paper has a design on it, that might make a difference on the way you want to cut it down. Oh, I was looking for that set. There it was, right under my paper. Okay, I don't know if you've seen this before. Again, I said I did this back about a year ago. So I've had some new followers since then. So hopefully this is something new. or something to remind you if you have already seen it. Okay, so it's a 6x12 piece of designer series paper, and this happens to be one that is going to retire at the end of June. I actually forget the name of it right now, but I want on the outside, so that's why this is going this direction. If I wanted this on the outside, I would probably want it to go the other direction. But I did make another envelope for this with this last night. So let's zoom out a little bit. If you want to grab a piece of paper and write down how you do this. Our CEO, Sarah, showed this a while back, and that's when I got the idea, probably well over a year ago. And again, it's 6x12, and then I want to score with the scoring blade at 3/4 of an inch. And if you have the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it goes on the right side 1.5 inches over. So it's easy to line it up right here at the 3/4 mark. So 3/4. And be careful that you're using the light gray scoring blade, and don't press too hard because it's paper, not cardstock, and it will cut through. And then flip it and do the same thing on the other side. Score. And then I want on the 12-inch side to score at 4 1/4. Again, we're still scoring. And flip it and 2 inches. Again, scoring. And now we'll do some cutting. You can either use your score tool or scissors for the next step, but I am going to use the scissors to get it started. So let's score on those fold lines. So maybe you can see kind of how this is going to go. So we'll be folding, folding, but we have to do some cutting first. So it's easier if on these 2 and 4, 4 1/4 and 2, that you use your paper snips to cut in to the 3/4 inch line. Sometimes it's hard to see if there's a glare. So I hope I don't pull this back too far so you can't see what I'm doing. Cut up to the 3/4 and then put a little notch in it so it makes it easier to fold. Oops, I didn't cut all the way up there. Okay, so I'm going to notch that and then do that on all 4 sides. So if you can see that part right there. There we go. And I'm going to flip it and do the same thing over here. And snip. And snip. Okay, snip and snip. Now it's easy to cut this part and this part out. Again, you can use it with your paper snips or show you how to use your paper trimmer for that. Okay, on your cutting blade, now I'm going to move the light gray one out of the way, and here is the dark gray cutting one. And there's an arrow here in the center. So wherever this is pointing is where it's going to cut up to. Let's put it that way. So let's move this back over and line it up on the 3/4 line. And I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to cut this part out down here at the bottom. If you can see that, maybe I'll turn it this way and you can see it better. That's better. Okay, so let me make sure that, okay, so it's over to the 3/4. And this part now is the 4 1/4. So I'm going to cut down to that. And what's nice about putting that notch in there to begin with is you will feel when it gets to that point. You'll know that you're into that little ditch. And that will pull right out. And then keep going. Lift it up. Don't continue to cut. And go down to the bottom. And now go up to the 2 inch. And pull that out. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Line it up at 3/4. I'm already down here at the bottom, so I'm going to stay down there and just go up to the 4 1/4. Pull that out. And now make sure you lift this up so you don't cut that center part, and then pull down to go to the 2 inch mark. There we go. Hi, Carol, welcome. Hope you're having a good day. So now this is what is left. So this becomes the envelope. Obviously the 2 inch part is at your top, and then this is at the bottom. Now we used to have a, get my bone folder here again. We used to have a corner rounder on a punch that just retired. So we don't really have a corner rounder per se anymore, but I found in one of our brand new punches, when I was playing around with it last night, this one, I don't even know what it's named. It is called the Decorative Circle Punch. It's on page 153. Okay, Carol, yeah, I've been, I guess I've been talking for a little bit longer than I thought. And what I found is there's enough of a circle or a corner rounder in here that I can slip my paper here in one of these larger curvatures of the punch. Just slip my paper in there. Oops. Not cutting. Well, it's there. It did it yesterday. And get a little corner. You can also do it freehand, and I'm sure nobody would know the difference. But it does look better if it's got a corner that's curved. And then I'll do it up here at the top too. Let's try it again here. Okay, it's not cooperating. So I'll just do it by hand. Maybe somebody else has come up with a better way to corner round, because I think there are some projects that needs that. It makes it look better. All right, almost done. And so now I'm going to use Tear and Tape, which is my adhesive of choice for these envelopes. There we go. And add it to the bottom part, the part that is the 4 1/4. You're going to add Tear and Tape here and here, and then you're going to put a piece at the top for when you're ready to mail your card inside. Obviously, you don't want to put any adhesive here, or you would not get your card in the envelope. But you can get a little production line going on these, and they're very, very easy to make. And then you've got it ready to go. And who wouldn't be happy to get something like this in the mail if you're sending them a card. Now, sometimes I notice that if you don't cut exactly right, you're going to get a little bit of an edge here. Just snip that off. It's not a big deal. Because all paper trimmers are just a little bit different, and so are the people who trim them a little bit different, and everyone's a little bit, might be a little bit off. So then I'm just going to add a piece of the tear and tape here, so that way your envelope will be ready when it's ready to go. And let's say I wanted to put this envelope or this card that I made today in here, and it's the perfect size for a standard envelope, and there you go. So I just love these, using for retired or soon to retire designer paper, and just makes me happy. So that's about it for today. I just want to give you a reminder that next week we'll be into June, and I will probably be focusing on those items that will be retiring at the end of June. And then one final reminder that tomorrow is the last day for the Join special for $99. And then you get about $65 for free stuff. And that free stuff includes the 5 new in colors. It includes the in color 6x6 paper, some grid paper, and there's one more thing which I'm forgetting right now. And it's a great deal. And it just means you can be a happy shopper, and you don't need to do anything beyond that. So if you're interested, let me know. And again, that is ending tomorrow on May 31st. So have a great rest of the day. If you haven't had your cookout yet, or your chill and grill, have at it and have fun. And I'm going to head upstairs and grab a cup of coffee. So take care. Have a great week. See you